Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Sword of the Stars 2. We're already on turn 25, things are zipping along. We have built the civilian station at Uxor. Let's go set up the modules for that. Oh, not build station. So automatic and then docks. Aha! Trade stimulus. Civilian business interests have built a freighter in the Archon system. Good, so let's check. Hit number 7. And there you go. I have a freighter. Now I should adjust this slider so that Archon now produces goods equal to the number of freighters. Now, it takes a couple turns for this trade route to get set up. But once it does, I forget how much money exactly gets generated per trade route. I really should know that. I forget. Well, whatever. It's not gonna... It doesn't change what I'm gonna do. I'm still gonna set up the trade routes. I just wish I'd remembered exactly how much it does. Okay. Finally, this colonization fleet has finished its job. Now we're gonna dissolve this fleet. Remember, we were doing a kind of switcheroo here. We are relocating the colonizers to wait, no, this should be going to, I think I might have clicked something wrong there. I want to be going to Cetus. For some reason it's listed it as under Archon. I don't know. What could possibly go wrong, right? Yeah, I don't know why it labeled it as Archon. That's a bit weird. So, we're relocating our colonizers to go from Uxor to Cetus. And I guess we're gonna... Our last colonization effort is going to be to Altera, and that's going to be based from Cetus. Now, here, we can assemble our next construction fleet. Now, if we happen to have an architect, that would be great. We don't, so we're just going to pick like a random, I guess a skeptic. This doesn't matter. So I'll call it construction 2. Okay, constructor done. Now I want to, I mean, eventually, yes, I do want to build a civilian station at Cetus, but its population isn't high enough. And these... I want to upgrade this civilian station, but it still needs to build a few modules. So what do I do with this construction fleet for now? One thing that I could do is build a military station here, a naval station here. And actually that makes sense because if we're going to be fighting the...
We'll get it built, sir.
If we end up having... We have to fight down in this direction. And even though I have to go through here, the Suul'ka can just... Like, they can just bulldoze a node line right to me here. So I'm probably going to want to park the... I am probably going to want to park some fleets in Barrett. And so I need to have a naval station in orbit to tend to them. So we're going to build a naval station here. Let us... yeah, everything's in order in terms of trade. Let's just take a look at our budget. Already, this situation is almost under control. We're down to only 100,000 per turn in maintenance. The budget is pretty balanced. Let's bring this down. And we are still working on the technology. Okay, everything is looking good. Let us keep going. We are currently not building any ships because it would be a waste right now to build the ships. We don't have technology to build any worthwhile ships, basically. Okay, nothing happened this turn. Control A, nothing's there. Oh, no, something did happen this turn. So now you notice that there's a flashing here and a number 1. This means that there is at least one station that is ready to be upgraded. And in fact, the station at Archon 2 meets the minimum requirements to be upgraded to the next level. The reason it's grayed out is because there are currently no construction fleets available for the job, because this fleet, kind of sticking into the sun, hasn't quite gotten back to Archon. So next turn we'll be able to upgrade the civilian station. This is a nice part of the interface because it means you don't have to go throughout your empire and hunt down the station that needs to be upgraded. You can just click it through here. So you'll see what I mean in the station in a minute. Okay, we built the naval station there. So here, I'm going to upgrade the station at Archon, but we'll just do it through here. We can filter, by the way, if you had too many of them. We don't, but that's okay. So upgrade the station. Now you have to choose a construction fleet that's going to do the work for us. Done. Taken care of. So obviously upgrading stations cost money, and higher tier stations, hey, what did I say? So we have an incoming alien fleet. It's going to get there in 2 turns. Like speak of the devil, right? Now it has 5 armor cruisers. Fortunately, I just built a military station. Now, by the way, one military station does, a naval station, I should say, sorry, does like nothing, right? It's completely useless. It just allows you to park ships in orbit. We happen to have ships here. Let's create a fleet that's going to try to get there in time. And I think we can get there in time. Hey, Defender, while fighting an own system. That seems like it's particularly appropriate. Fleet 1, why not? Okay, and we're basically gonna put all 6 of our armor cruisers in there, and I guess we'll put, you know what, let's bring our 2nd command cruiser in there, because we might just lose our 1st command cruiser, and that would be, and then we couldn't have a fleet, right? So that's going to be annoying. So that's done. I realize now that I did forget to build our ships that I should be building. I should be building the rest of my wasps, which are the police force. Once they're built, by the way, you need to drag them into the defense area down here. And what this means is, actually here, if I show you Battle Manager, for example, this is a layout of the system, right? The defense assets are listed here, and if you want to, you can actually deploy them in the system. So if there was going to be a fight in the system, my police cutter would now appear over here, right? Otherwise, it will just be randomly assigned and randomly deployed, so you can be more strategic about it. Right now, we only have police cutters, but if you had stations, for example, which you could build, then they would also be listed here, and you could deploy them as assets, you know, throughout your system. So let's not forget that we want to build some police cutters. That first one was a prototype, so it was pretty expensive, but now it should be cheap to build the others. So we need 2 more over here.
Construction project.
We need
initiated.
3 in Uxor.
Shipyards gearing up.
Eventually we're going to want some in Cetus, but we don't even have enough people to do trading there, so let's not jump the gun. We don't need to panic yet. Now, the other question is, I mean, I could try to, let's see, how, yeah, Barrett can barely produce anything. So, eventually, so I'm also wondering, like, do I want to actually start producing my sort of turn 1 ship designs, like that armor cruiser that I redesigned? I think for now, we're not this turn maybe, because I'm spending this turn building my police cruisers, although it's not an emergency, but I'll just stick to doing that. Let's not go into debt. I guess we'll spend 1 turn getting the police cruisers out. Oh, don't need that much stimulus. Yeah, that's why. Let's rejig these sliders a bit. There we go. Over 55. By the way, we did, yeah, so we got our stimulus. Did we get another one? No. But we do have, right, those docks are getting built. Let's see what else is free. That's pretty much it. I think, yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be it for this turn. Oh, no, of course not. So I just created that defense fleet, right? Now, when you just create a fleet, it will not show up when you hit Control-A to cycle through them. So try to keep track of that. So this fleet, we need to send it to Barrett. Now, I could have it just patrol there, but then after a few turns, it's going to need to come back to Archon. And because I built that station, I can relocate it. And because we're Soul Force and we're so damn fast, we can get there in 2 turns.
Yes, Commander.
So we will get there in
Transfer
time
underway.
to hopefully save the day from the space scavenger zombies that are coming. So that's all we can do this turn. Let us end the turn. And hopefully everything will be all right. Now, the truth is, so like I said, the AI isn't like amazing, right? Oh, by the way, Cetus is, well, obviously we're going to continue support. By the way, I think the colonizers got there. Yep. Good. Oh, and now this station is ready to be upgraded. We're going to wait for this constructor to get there. I should upgrade the warehouse here, because we might need to park more ships in that direction. Also, the police cutters are done. So let's put the wasps in the defense, you know, so they do their job. Oh, here they haven't been completely built yet, but they'll be built soon. Okay, that should be that for this turn. Next turn, there will be combat. So here we go. All right, there's the combat. Now, a few things. I never bothered to set the fleet formation in my fleet, so they're just going to appear in one big line, which was silly of me, I realized, but that's life. However, what I can do is I can still decide where my fleet will appear in the system, I think, because this is my system and I control it. So, now here's the thing. If you play multiplayer, this is a bit tricky because, and this is just based on what I remember from many years ago, but I think the host could make this change. But if the, like, I mean, on the same turn, but if another player changed their layout, it wouldn't get, like, transmitted in the turn save file. So this is a bit funky in multiplayer. But in single player, I mean, go for it, right? Rearrange your fleets however you want. So I'm going to place my fleet next to the planet. Here's what's going to happen. The AI is going to come, and he's going to have his armor cruisers and his CNC and supply ships. He's going to split off into 2 groups. And the CNC is going to, like, go hide somewhere, and the armor cruisers are going to head towards my planet. That's what the AI always does, which isn't like a crazy strategy. It's just it always does the same thing. Now, I can't let them get close to my planet, because if they shoot it with a few bullets, it's just going to destroy my colony, because it's so vulnerable, because it has no population. So, I am actually going to intercept them over here. Now, their ships are more powerful than mine, but all I need to do, and this is the key about fighting in Sword of the Stars 2, all you really need to do is kill the enemy CNC ship. Because then, no matter what happens in this fight, next turn, their fleet just has to retreat. If they don't have a command ship, they cannot form a fleet. So this is very important, especially in multiplayer, right? You have to find a way to kill their CNC, and you have to protect your CNC. And a lot of sneaky tactics, therefore, you know, can happen because of that. So for us, I'm willing to sacrifice these crappy armor cruisers if I can kill their CNC. Obviously, I don't want to sacrifice them, but I might have to. So they're going to appear somewhere over here. I'm going to be in front of them. The other thing is, even if I get caught up in a brawl and I can't kill his CNC, I'm going to be tied up in combat so that the whole 5 minutes of the combat will elapse and he won't have gotten closer to my planet, which means next turn he's going to have to cross the whole thing again, right? I can keep delaying and delaying until potentially reinforcements arrive. Now, in this case, I don't have any reinforcements, but shh, don't tell them, okay? All right, so here's what's going to happen. This fight is about to start. I'm going to take my 2 CNCs and back them up.
Hi, sir. Hi.
Where's the other one? There. Now these are his ships. So everyone's got missiles. Nobody's got point defense because it's the beginning. Let's take a look. Here, let me hit the P button, which is pause. Just so you see more clearly what's going on. So, I recognize their ship designs. This is their command ship. These are the two supply ships. They're moving as a group in one direction. These are his armor cruisers, and this is the Space Bulldozer, which paves the new node lines. This ship has a special ability where it can shoot out from its behind a special attack that will, unless you are Soul Force or Zool, it will just kill all the ships that are there. So it's very powerful. If you're Soul Force, it just blows you back through the node line where you came from. So let's be mindful of this weapon. Now, this is good because he's got his CNC ship heading this way. So I'm going to intercept his CNC with my armor cruisers. Let's talk briefly about some of the other things that are going on in this UI. By hovering over, I get the range of my weapons, right? So this is very useful. This is like a firing mode. You can change this if you wanted to have like an alpha strike. Usually you don't need, there are some special circumstances where I will change this, but usually you just keep this to its default setting. This is what kind of ships this weapon system is going to target. You might want to assign your beams to shoot only at drones, for example, or your big weapons to shoot only at their dreadnoughts, so you could change that there. Often you don't really need to worry about it. Here are more important toggles. This will change how your weapons or how your ships orient themselves in combat. Some species have ships that are laid out better for broadsides and others better for direct facing, so that's important. Here is the default behavior of the ships. If you're on neutral, basically it's like a basic RTS where you just kind of select and click and the ships will individually follow the orders that you give them. If you do close to attack, or I should say, if you do pursuit, then even though you have orders for them to move in one direction, if you give them an attack order, they will ignore the movement command you gave them and will just go towards that enemy and try to shoot it. Often, sometimes it's faster. Sometimes this behaves weird, and they kind of stop, and it's very frustrating. So you kind of sometimes need to keep them on neutral and just keep clicking in front. Standoff is for missiles that are equipped with weapons. We'll talk about that when it comes up. And close to attack, I just wanted to mention, every race has a special close to attack maneuver, which is different and is supposed to be like suited towards that race's style. So Soul Force close to attack, the ship will just run towards the enemy and then kind of broadside them as they go along and sort of keep going past them. A bit of a standard attack. By the way, the Suul'ka close to attack is it will go low and then try to attack from underneath. Speaking of low, you can control the elevation of the ships. There are 3 sort of plateaus. You can control the speed if you need a burst of acceleration, but this will disable the weapons. Anyways, there's a lot of information here. As I'm gonna get this combat underway by hitting P again, and I'll only talk about it if it becomes relevant. So, clump formation, because why not? So these missiles are gonna hurt. Nothing we can do about that. Alright, now that we're clumped together, I'm going to tentatively approach. Remember, we are targeting this command ship, and I want to target its engines as much as possible. Although, remember, I'm firing crappy, inaccurate bullets here. So that's just like nothing we can do. Now, another thing to keep in mind. So here's what's going to happen. Their ships are faster than mine because Suul'ka have the fastest ships in the game. So I've got a small window here to get something done. Fortunately, kinetic weapons impart momentum. That's one of the cool things about them. So as I am staying in front of his ship, every time I hit it with one of these big bullets, it actually gets pushed back. And you can tell because, look, it's falling behind its two counterparts, right? So that's playing in my favor. One thing to keep in mind, Suul'ka have boarding pods. They're very good at boarding, and so I'm kind of afraid that they're going to board my ships and take them over, but I don't even have point defense, so there's no point worrying about it. There's nothing I can do. Okay, I've destroyed the command section, which is good. I'm going to try to target the engine section. Remember, you have to kill 2 sections to destroy a ship. I'm continuing to maneuver my ships so that they're in front. Now let's take a look at the damage that I've taken so far. Our armor is still holding up. They haven't been focusing their fire, and so we probably haven't taken much structural damage. In fact, you can tell here the damage. This is like the average damage over... Excellent. We got this command and control ship. That was our priority. Now we'll just try to take out some of their other ships just for free. Honestly, if the combat ended right now, I'd be happy because next turn we don't even have to kill these ships. It will just, the fleet will be forced to retreat, and basically we've succeeded in our mission. So let's see what we can do. If we can kill these 2 supply ships, that's free. That's an extra freebie. I'm not going to engage these command ships because not these command. These extra ships are not worth engaging because we're just gonna take casualties for no reason. So let's fast forward this a little bit. I'm just gonna increase it to speed 2 or 3, and we'll get this done. Almost done here. Let's try to stay in front of them. Okay, almost done. Let's fast forward through the last few minutes because I actually don't want to fight these guys. So we're just going to super fast forward and end the combat right here. Okay, good job. We've avoided our first potential disaster. Now, next turn, they will be forced to retreat. And so we have saved the day. We destroyed 3 of their ships. We only took some minor damage. And that's it. So that was a good note to end on. Let's end this episode right here. And we will maybe try to organize a more permanent defense for the future attacks, which are likely to come at us. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys shortly. Take care.